when I touch the remote, it just breaks. Like for some reason, it'll just
Doesn't like
stop
her.
working as soon as I touch it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, and I push all the buttons he pushes. And I'm like, God damn it, it won't work. And then he comes over and he pushes the same buttons and then it works.
One little.
Yeah, it's the
Got
same thing.
Got the magic touch going on there.
Yeah.
So are you a gamer?
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Absolutely. Every single night.
Every night?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what games?
Lately, Call of Duty, the new Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty's like been around forever, right?
Yeah, it's got a new...
Is there like updated, like the most latest, greatest?
Oh, yeah, they
It's
got
like
the-
Call of Duty 25 right now?
32.
32.
I
don't
play
play.
with my sons. That's kind of cool. We get a little bonding time, kill people.
See, that's old school.
It's
like,
awesome.
You used to sit down in front, like two players?
Uh-huh.
Or are they in
Split
different
screen.
rooms?
No, both.
Both.
They're online right now. We left them playing. They're playing right now.
Nice.
Not that
As
game,
much
but-
as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today,
have two-
Joaquin came out sweaty and he said, I've been streaming for 6 hours.
Two 12-year-old boys.
Right.
And then our daughter just graduated high school. She's a 2020 graduate. So
2020. So how did that work? Real quick, Chef Michael Wake, Michelle Wake, yes?
Michelle Savage.
Savage. Oh, we're on Instagram together. I thought this was the savage life was just like your thing. Like I'm a savage.
It's a little both.
Well, I was
Little
thinking
both.
between you guys' last names, Powers,
Okay. We
Savage.
and Wake, Woke.
I
Oh,
need to
go
change my
2020.
last. I talked about taking Savage as my last name because it's way cooler.
I'm
Mike.
going to, Savage Wake, yeah.
Michael Savage.
That's pretty dope, actually.
I know,
All
right?
let's do it.
Got a
read
lame
it.
last name compared to that.
Just
Yeah.
going to remember in
Wake.
the description of this, it's Michael Savage.
Yeah.
And then you can do that thing that annoys everybody and then in quote, put the Wake in parentheses.
I could hyphenate my name.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Just Savage, straight Savage.
Yeah.
So Michelle Savage. Sorry, where were we going with the video game thing? They're all playing?
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left him at home.
yeah,
2020. How did she it's your daughter?
Yeah.
So they didn't get to walk? Was it like
No.
a giant Zoom meeting?
We had a drive-through graduation.
and
drive-through.
they also had a Zoom meeting
They had a
as well,
they have a virtual
but-
graduation next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To be clear though, also she's a gamer.
Yeah.
They had a Minecraft graduation, which
Yeah.
was cool. They had a Minecraft prom.
Okay.
They even made a Funkadelic in Minecraft world. She's got a whole server that they
She and her group of
all her
friends
kidding.
all her
created
friends
their own
play
world.
on.
Yeah.
You can
That's
go
so
to the
cool.
Funk in Minecraft
No way.
and get pancakes.
Wow.
Awesome.
So can anybody
also
do that?
deal
Because I
drugs,
don't
so-
know. My
you have to
daughter
be in
just
their server.
she just downloaded Minecraft, so she's got to like friend her on there and all that stuff.
It's so my
I want to
daughter
go to the
Emma,
Funkadelic in Minecraft.
It's a private server. You have to be invited into their group.
Oh, okay.
It's
She's
classified
6.
as a.
She's fine.
Yeah, you know
Let
what?
her in. Let
No.
her- Oh no,
It's not going to happen.
not gonna happen.
They deal drugs.
They deal
in
drugs.
Prostitution.
Minecraft.
The
Yeah.
pancakes, they're like infused.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's an advanced version.
Okay. All right. But that does
Minecraft
sound
mature.
cool. We need to get some images of that, right?
It's pretty badass.
that sounds
Actually, it
badass.
looks just like the restaurant,
Yeah.
but it's in Minecraft.
Oh, this is your daughter who was working at the Funkadelic.
Yes.
Yes.
She still works there. Yeah,
Okay,
She was
cool.
there today. We worked together.
And now she's happy to work there full time because she's trying to get her own apartment
All right.
at the end of the summer. So
In Austin, yeah.
She already
Yeah.
started college.
Yeah.
Where's she
yesterday.
going to school?
she's now at ACC. She had been planning on going to Texas State, and then with all the COVID business, she decided to
Yeah.
stick around in Austin and just do 2 years at ACC, and then hopefully transfer to UT.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
time.
very uncertain, right?
Everything's uncertain.
Everything is
Yeah.
uncertain. And that brings me to something I was curious, what was going on when the lockdown happened with the Funkadelic? You guys closed up for a bit, right?
Yeah, I think you and I swapped texts early when we were, I think shortly after what we had made some decisions was, at the advent of all of that, it was high anxiety, a lot of fear, I think, in the city, everywhere.
Yeah.
And not knowing how things were being transmitted as much as you know now. And we made the decision to close our doors because out of safety, also economically.
Was that into April or
It was March.
it was March?
Mid-March, we were open for a week, almost a week and a half of doing curbside, and realized we weren't going to be able to make enough money. And I think at that time, people were going into hard lockdown. They were not eating out. Everybody was at home, cooking at home, staying in. Nobody was leaving. And a lot of our staff and ourselves, we were concerned about transmission of everything to our team and what that could mean. And so we basically made the decision to close our doors, not knowing if we were going to reopen. And it felt very much like we were closing our restaurant permanently.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
There was a really pointed time. We gave our staff, all the food in the restaurant, and we took what was left. And there was that really weird night where we were in there, and it was such a mixed feeling of like, we feel so fortunate to have this food because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to be on the shelves. And there was like this abundance that we couldn't believe that we had, that other people were stressed out about not having, and we could share it with friends and family. But we're also just holding back the tears going, what if this is it for us after, you just can't believe that after all that. And it was interesting because March, we were on track to have our busiest month on record.
Ever.
We
had, you know what?
had booked
Us
Kite
too.
Festival. We had booked more catering than we'd ever seen. And, we're really hoping that catering comes back to us. It's starting to
we had just
reemerge,
also
but-
built out a prep kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, we had talked about
And
the
that was
prep kitchen.
complete, and we were
patio.
ready to explode. And
Did you get a walk-in?
No.
Was that a thing? Oh, no.
But we got a big fridge, an additional
All right.
fridge just for
prep
catering.
space and-
Yeah.
we had the biggest staff we've ever had.
Yeah. We were going a million miles an hour. I mean, we were spinning to the point, honestly, we
was
talked
a little-
about it before the podcast about that needing a break, and you kind of want it in your adult life. And it wasn't really until we had it, we realized how badly we needed it in a weird double-edged sword way. We were exhausted.
Yeah.
And the week before we shut down, we actually took a little weekend out in Wimberley.
Yeah.
We go
strange.
hide away
We had
on a river.
we had not, this was right when it was happening in China with their outbreak.
Yeah.
We just had scheduled a weekend off of the restaurant
Coincidence.
together.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at that time, as it was starting to gain a lot more media attention, like this could be something that immediately affects us. And not knowing within a week and a half, we would be looting our own restaurant because
It's true, though,
nobody
right?
could shop anywhere. I'm sure you remember, like it was.
There's
you're
milk and-
bringing it back. I remember
Yeah.
that time with the food, and it was actually, you'd go and you'd be like, whoa, there's nothing
Everyone
here.
was scared, paranoid, frantic, lines. I mean, it was just, we didn't have to shop for 3-4 weeks. We just had food from our restaurant.
That is nice.
It was crazy. We turned our kitchen into like a production zone where I just broke down meats and we bagged them and we dated and labeled and
That's awesome.
stuffed our fridge and gave it to family and friends and drove it out to their houses. And it was just an unknown time.
No, we were filled with uncertainty. But that weekend, did you guys kind of unwind out there, or were you nervous? You guys were
No,
nervous?
because we came
was-
back to work and that's when it started.
We could feel it brewing out there,
Yeah.
and so we
was
didn't really unwind. But it was kind of that marker where we're like, we really need a break. And then we came back, and all hell broke loose. And then we got the biggest break we hadn't planned. But that was, of course, when Michael really, 2 times. You switched gears in one way, and you got to do walks outside and spend time with kids and stuff that you don't normally get to. But he was 24 hours a day working on getting these PPP loans and, just making calls where you're on hold for 2-3 hours constantly. And also just making sure that we could take care of the employees that we had, making sure nobody was, destitute or having a hard time, and we didn't know about it. So,
so a lot on your plate.
Well, before we closed our doors, I started applying for every single government disaster loan possible.
How many of those came through?
All of them.
All of them.
Yep.
yeah, both really. Or 3.
Everything we applied for.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent.
But
It's wise.
to be
some people don't think they'll get it; they just don't do it.
Well, one of them, for example, there were 2.3 million applicants, and we received government disaster loan money as a result. And I don't know how. It was magical, the way that it worked.
It was, but also you were so tenacious about it. You, for the same loan, you applied through 3 different places because it kept shutting down and changing and calling constantly. I mean, you were like a bulldog trying to get
I was on
that.
hold for hours, and I was calling number 1,432. And that's what I did for days until I couldn't do it anymore. And then we pretty much, after about the second or third week, there was nothing more I could do besides just assume that our business was permanently closed.
Wow.
And not know. And so we
okay.
started basically just letting go of our business and spending time with each other and our kids, and knowing that I may have to claim bankruptcy and potentially lose a lot of money or parts of our house or vehicle.
There was a
like
real
there was
surrender in it, though, that we hadn't experienced before. You know, it was just
Just
like
let it
everything
go.
was day by day. You can't plan anything when you don't have any solid information to go on, and so we just kind of
Well, there's such a paradox there when
Yeah.
you're saying, it's like, it's so beautiful, we'll take a break, and then you got all this on your mind at the same time.
well, and then I was still working at night, believe it or not, as a private chef. I still have.
of course,
There's
this
been
is
no
Michael
break
Wake,
through
aka
the
Michael
pandemic.
Savage we're talking about.
Yeah.
This doesn't
So I was
stop.
still braving the stores and wearing a mask and gloves and
gosh.
waiting in lines and working my private
There
chef
was
job
a certain
at night.
time when that would have scared the hell out of me.
Oh, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Every day I would come home and I'd take 3 baths. And,
Oh, yeah. Immediate, don't touch me.
yeah.
Don't touch me.
I'm getting all of this.
Right.
yeah.
Now, I remember coming home and with Finn even would be I'd be like, not right now. I got to get in the shower. Went through like so much hand sanitizer.
I had that
I wanna kill
opposite
my dog.
experience. I didn't leave the house. He was in the store already for his private chef job, so he'd bring the groceries home, and all of a sudden I was a teacher, 5 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That went over.
And how old?
Great.
How old is everybody?
We have 2 boys that are 12,
Okay.
so they're
That's-
now going into 7th grade, and then our daughter Emma just graduated.
Okay,
from
because
high
Scarlett's
school.
only 6. That's excellent. Congratulations to her. But our homework was like a cakewalk.
Oh, so nice.
It was like, it's a story on YouTube, and you draw
Yeah.
a picture.
No.
I was like, okay.
No.
But
Well, yeah.
7th grade, you're like, I forget all this.
Oh, there were knives out. There were battles
There,
over.
there was a lot of tears. A lot of them were
Anger.
mine.
Oh, wow.
It was
Yelling.
a day drinking.
That's,
It was a 10 a.m. and she'd be drinking.
I was not.
hey,
10:30.
that was
I'm
going
kidding.
on here.
But I would come downstairs
People
sometimes.
don't know
and
that you're teasing.
It was
They're gonna
full on
CPS
battle
is gonna
mode.
be at home when I get
Yeah.
there.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not an easy test to take on. So,
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and the school were they demanding or were they pretty lax about it?
It's a real mix. It's just busy work. And if, you're a kid that can we have 2 12-year-olds and they're opposite. And one is just like,
They have
let me
different
just,
teachers.
and completely different personalities of how they attack schoolwork. And one of our sons is super social. He's like the mayor of middle school and knows everybody,
Right.
secret handshake with the security guard kind of guy. And
Yeah.
then another of our sons is very quiet, but he can just plow through work so he can get to go do whatever he wants to do. He's
Sure.
just like, let's check this box off. And so, it's a different approach to both of those things. And I have the utmost respect for all of their teachers who deal
Sure.
with that times, 28
Oh,
more.
right,
I don't know how they do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I mean, I was doing that sitting at home. There's that one thing where it's like, oh, it's a summer as an adult. This is great.
Yeah.
And then you got to like entertain somebody.
Right.
I mean, they probably entertain themselves a little bit more though.
They don't really want us around anymore.
Yeah,
They just
right.
want to go in their room and play games.
Play games.
Yeah.
Right. Because
they're online with
dad
their
downstairs
friends.
or wherever. Right.
That's how they communicate with all their friends is you hear them in there like cheering
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. I can't believe I'm a rarity. I don't do that. I know most of the people I know do.
And gaming. You're not a gamer.
No, I've got the PS4 down there, but I'll start playing something. I don't do it online with anybody, and then like I'll play for a whole day and think it's the greatest thing, and won't ever turn it back on.
Yeah.
God of War was a good example.
I know that game.
I thought that thing was amazing,
Yeah.
and then I left off like months and months ago.
Yeah.
Never turned it back on.
The kids love that Michael's a gamer, and he's the cool
It is-
parent
that
because
is
he'll
the
be
cool-
like, "Let's go play
What does
pinballs
that
and
make
let's
you?
go do it." I'm like the library card of fun.
yeah.
I'm like, "Let's go to the park and
Yeah.
look at plants and go to check out books."
Yeah.
It's-
Well, your
it's
daughter must have been into that
enriching.
once upon a time, right?
It's the thing they'll appreciate much later, hopefully before I pass.
Yeah.
Maybe
They may thank you.
they might. It's like a subtle influence.
There's a new one coming out called Survivor or something, right? That could be like a mom could get into that game.
Yeah, I feel like we've been living it though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's so you had a lot on your plate during that time. Well, both of y'all did, but to think that the Funkadelic might not open must have been a pretty dark
It was
moment for you.
really not a good place.
Yeah.
We have put all of everything into that, and we had focused a lot of our life and energy on trying to make it what it is, and then it was gone for no reason that we could have controlled or
Completely out of your
had
control.
any design over, and then that was it. And then I found what I found fascinating too was there were two kinds of people that I would have conversations with. You go to your vendors, your landlord, people you owe money to, and tell them, hey, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. And then there were responses that would baffle me.
Right.
And then trying to cope with those conversations every day that you have to have them. And then I got really good at them after a while, where you kind of let go of the anxiety of the conversation because you have to tell somebody, hey, I owe you money and I can't pay you. And I don't know when or if, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But you have to say that more times than not, people were so gracious, and
So
it was sort of overwhelming.
Sometimes,
how,
yes, and then,
not always, but almost every vendor was helpful. Not all.
the ones that weren't, I cut them instantly.
They're no longer our vendors.
They're not. I said, I will be back.
Yeah.
But it won't be with you.
Right. Yeah.
And there'll be somebody else that'll take your place.
Yeah.
And, you'll get your money when you get it, but, take care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck to you out there. And
So when during this did you guys make the shift towards reopening? Because you guys, what was the first steps?
well, when we started, so I'm sure you saw all the news about the loans that were out there and, all of the media coverage about these PPP loans and SBA loans and
PPE. I don't know what that is. Sorry. No.
yeah, I don't know what the E one is. That's why I was asking. It was
Right. I don't know. Sorry. But PE. I don't
So they, the first round they all burned through all that, and they were misappropriated to a lot of places that really shouldn't have gotten
Oh,
them.
yeah. That was all over
Chain
the place.
restaurants.
Yeah, some of them were,
Yeah.
20 gazillion for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 zillion for her.
Yeah.
Ours were microscopic
buddy.
in
Wink,
comparison.
wink. Yeah.
So after the first round of funding went through and we didn't receive it, and my banker basically told me like, "Hey, you're not going to make it. You didn't get it," and we pretty much assumed at that point that it was done. And then they started talking about a second round of funding, which I was already in the mix for. I was in they call it a queue, like a line, where your business is here and there's thousands in front of you and thousands behind you, and hopefully you make it to the point where you are funded for that. You know, but you provide all your information, your business data, your loans, your debt, your profit loss margin, all that stuff, and then hopefully it reaches somebody. Well, I had just a really luck occurrence with my banker who told me again, like, hey, you're not going to make this round of funding again.
Sucks.
But they're doing something different this time. They're smaller banks that are giving money and that are so I know somebody. I don't know him, but call this. It's a small bank in Austin. They've received a certain amount of funding, and you don't have to be a member of their bank to do so. So I literally, it was just, I put it together in 10 minutes, just all the paperwork, sent it out, not thinking I would hear back from this person who was a stranger. And within 2 days, the guy called me back and said, all right, we funded you. And it was at that point that we started saying, okay.
That's a relief.
It's not as much as we need.
Yeah.
But.
So they gave you more than enough.
No. Not that.
It's not as much as you need. Sorry.
No, it was going to be we were going to be able to say we can get open, but I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And it's going to depend upon the climate of what it's like. So we thought if we didn't at least try, then it would be a travesty. So we then decided, okay, we're going to do it, but then you had to speak with your staff about it. And
that was a little more challenging just because, people quarantine at different levels and they also have different fear levels, and I completely respected
All of them.
It's
all of
still
the
all over
range.
the map, right?
Absolutely, we feel that way
Even
too.
on our own team still.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of discussion going into it of who's coming back and who's not, and who's going to work in teams. And so we run small teams of 2 or 3 that are the same. So we're not mixing our whole staff right now. We keep it pretty separate.
So this is your approach?
This was our
like a little
approach
prep
to-
area for
yeah.
you two?
I mean,
No, not even. Well,
it's just that we are running such a lean shift because we're only open at this point right now for curbside and delivery.
Right now,
So we
currently?
don't currently as of today. And we have some new changes
We have
coming
big-
up
big stuff
soon,
coming, but-
Okay.
yeah.
so it began with a bunch of Zoom meetings. We're constantly having meetings online. And after everyone kind of stated their opinions, which it was not easy to get everyone's opinions out.
And
of
don't forget,
them.
they're also making a lot of money on unemployment.
I know. That
it
was one thing I was
it's not-
wondering.
And it's not out of greed that someone wouldn't want to come back, but they're being taken care of very well financially.
Right, it's like
Without-
a double-edged
and
sword.
then it's like,
Yeah.
am I dropping that to come back to a maybe business, or is it maybe risky?
And it's
so-
without risk. They're at home. They don't
Yeah.
have to leave. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
They can shop. They don't have to worry.
And talk about that
Respect that.
summer, that we've
Right.
all wanted.
I know,
is-
yeah.
Like everybody, honestly, what person who works full time doesn't need a break? And
for
so,
sure.
so there was a lot for everybody to engage in. But for Michael and
All
I feel
those-
like every single day it was just trying to make the best decision possible,
For our
taking into
people.
so many different
And our customers, like, how do we
Yeah,
make sure?
they're
So, like she was
safe
saying,
and-
we decided we compromised with everybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
on everything. We don't run our business with a hammer. We consult our people and then come up with a plan that works, hopefully, for as majority of them as possible. So we decided, like she was saying, in teams. So Andrew came up with a schedule, 4-day work weeks, groups of 3 or 4 people that all work together, 10-hour shifts, and then we didn't interact. So I don't even see Andrew and Mike,
Okay.
but a crossover on a Saturday now.
I see.
So they have their own quarantine team that cooks together, works
That's
together,
smart,
cleans
right?
together, and then my team that I work a different shift than them, they're off 3 days. I work those 3 days with a whole different team.
And then each team sanitizes and wipes down everything when
All
they're
wear
done
masks, gloves.
preparing it for the next team to come
Right,
in.
yeah.
And so we have a fraction of our staff together at once at any time.
So this is currently what you guys are doing.
yeah.
Well, I must say, I respect that approach a lot. I've been around, obviously, lately, and I see the skeleton crews, but I'm not getting the same level of like attention to detail for like sanitizing and stuff. Generally speaking,
Well, nobody comes in our restaurant but us. We've changed our entire dining area is like dry storage now.
Wow.
And then we
crazy.
set a lineup of tables so that when on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when we're busy, it's a totally different process where
It's like a production line of
you're
to-go
boxing up
guys
lots of
and-
food and
Yeah.
you've got a guy it's a totally different process.
Right.
And it took us actually a crash and burn. We reopened on Memorial Day weekend and got destroyed.
Destroyed
and-
like
the weeds, the
It was
kind
a
of dream that
nightmare.
you have
Yeah.
and you just can't get out of it.
God.
The worst
Yeah.
nightmare of weeds was an actuality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where there's so many tickets coming up and they're hanging.
There aren't even places to hang any more tickets.
Mass hysteria.
Right.
It's one of those dreams where you're like, I'm just going to walk,
yeah.
and I don't need to go back there.
In retrospect,
Except
that's
it's
kind
mine.
of cool, though.
And now
right?
I can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
no, in
that's-
fact, we are super fortunate
Yeah,
because
that's pretty cool.
Grateful
we
that people came back like that
promoted
for us.
it.
Slaughtered you.
we got destroyed, and it was awesome.
Right.
After that,
right.
It was
because
our first time though having online ordering, so
Yeah.
we had to set up that system.
we set up our
prior
website.
To
We've
that.
never done that before.
So there we were. I was in this case, I was the tech person. We were saying earlier, Michael does all the technical stuff, but
Yeah.
Oh, but
it was
She
kind
got
of
all
that
of
was.
those guys online. Grubhub, Uber
I was just
Eats,
sitting there waiting
website.
for a problem to arise, and then I fix it really quickly.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
those first 2 days, like, oh, this shows up the
Playing
wrong way,
with
or this, yeah, like
algorithms.
playing all the different
Really?
systems, like Uber Eats and Grubhub
Yeah.
and our online system at work. It was.
Well,
It was
that's
a
cool.
funny
So,
dance.
were you guys doing all that before?
No.
Okay.
We were
Well,
doing Uber Eats
and Grubhub, but not to like we are now.
Yeah.
But we condensed our menu so we could have a smaller team.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't doing as large of a quantity of menu items so that we could streamline all of those orders through less kitchen employees so that it was easier to do production and prep and purchasing, thereby scaling everything down.
And you guys you have a patio or do not?
We will.
That's
We will.
the surprise.
That's the surprise.
Yeah.
Well, that we're about to have a big patio.
Nice. Well,
Our landlord is awesome. He's working with us completely.
Cool.
Keep in mind, these guys own Loro, Uchiko. You know, they're my landlords.
They've been
they're restaurateurs.
incredible.
They know what's
Yeah.
going on.
that's the high hospitality.
Yes.
They own all that.
Yeah.
So we just ordered a tent, and we're spacing out our tables. And my dad is our resident consultant / he builds and fixes everything.
Handyman.
So he built our prep room that we just got, but he's going to build a big railing. So we're going to whip together a patio because we really want to have some seating that's distanced and safe. And people keep asking, when are we going to open the inside?
Well, the
And
Funkadelic's not big.
It's not.
No. Well,
Even at maximum
when
seating,
they're
we could
saying
seat 55 people.
25%. You know, when they announced, okay, you can 25% of the dining
So
room.
you
That's
get
12
5
people.
It's like 10, 12 people.
Right.
Like, come on. That's like
one in that corner, one in that corner.
Yeah.
You stand in the middle.
And then that leads to more staff, and that
It
compromises
was
sanitation. And so
no.
there was a whole.
that was not
But
gonna
with the patio
Yeah.
and a large patio,
Yeah.
that's great. to
Well,
hear.
that, and then we are trying to, once again, compromising, talking to our staff, figuring out when and how we will dine inside.
Yeah.
I feel
and-
like in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have a lot more data about what's going on with the virus in Austin. Like right now, there's protests going on.
Yeah. That's
People are mixing together in new ways. Restaurants are about to open to 75% capacity. So
Oh, okay. I didn't
On
hear
the
that.
12th.
The
Yeah.
12th.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 12th, yeah. So
Great.
Things are changing rapidly, and it's not that we want to be behind the ball necessarily, but we're definitely erring on the side of caution. But we're excited this patio is going to give us an opportunity to serve people in the way that we want to, and still kind of keep people safe at the same time.
Do you guys have access to the patio by the 12th?
Oh yeah,
Well,
really?
we're hoping by next week we'll be constructing the patio,
Okay.
yeah.
getting it functioning. So there's a couple things. We never had that before. We've never had a patio, never had online ordering, never done this style of service. And so
Right.
what I'm trying to do is transition our team into every new decision that we're trying to make as smoothly as possible. So, reopening our business with a small team, with a condensed menu, with only online ordering was a transition for us. And then never having a patio, how does it work for us? We don't have waiters, we don't have servers, we have runners. We order. It's
So figuring out the
It's counter
logistics
service,
of
you
how
know, so
everything changes every
getting
time.
new devices,
Yeah.
learning how to basically deciding how to rework our business again.
And
Yeah.
then on top of that, Michael and I are talking. Well, we are going to open for dinner, so we're going to have extended hours.
Wow.
So soon
Yeah.
we'll be open from
Funkadelic
8 to
dinner.
8, and
Changing our menu,
Adding new dinner
we're adding
items.
entrees
I'm
for dinner.
I'm gonna put it out there because I'm sure a lot of
yeah.
people think this. That I want
Who
to
doesn't
try that
want
dinner.
some? Since
We're
dinner's
excited.
going
We've been playing. I've been playing.
Oh, are
with
you all doing dinner for breakfast?
good. We're going to
both.
have all of it. So we'll
the
still
whole
have the
menu.
whole
Breakfast for
menu
dinner,
all
whatever.
day long. So you can still, if you want to get
Both,
pancakes
okay.
at 7 p.m., go for it. But
Like smash burgers and
Michael's
I don't
dinner
know where
menu
you-
is. I've been the official taster.
Oh yeah, can you reveal it? on
We've been
air?
doing all kinds of cool stuff. Some of it is stuff we've done, before, but other items we have just been playing with different menu items that are really exciting. Like today, we did a smoked brisket flautas with the chingona sauce and pico.
good.
A yellow curry chicken with pineapple mango salsa and a couple. We're thinking about doing. We're going to do like a Texas style charcuterie that has a smoked tri-tip and bratwurst, pickles, and
That's pretty
mustard.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
have
like that.
a new brisket purveyor who's making.
We have
some
this
smoked
badass brisket guy.
tri-tip that is to die for. It's so good.
We just brought a new guy online,
Yeah.
and he's incredible. But we've been playing with new purveyors now. We've been mixing up everything. I get bored pretty quick, and we have always changed our menus often before, and so now we've been just playing with all kinds of new ideas because we're trying to capture
And it's nice too because people can bring their dog to the patio.
Yeah.
Right now, we're still BYOB, although we're in the process of getting our beer and wine license. Which
You guys are doing that too?
We are. We
Yeah.
started that.
With brunch, mimosas.
I know. We started
be-
it a long time ago, and I frankly dropped the ball on it. And it was just, so many irons in the fire. And so now we're back to pushing that through. And I'm really excited to be able to have folks sit on the patio and, have a charcuterie board and a glass of wine and a happy hour. And I think it's going to be a huge boost for us.
Well, happy hour. And I've been there after a late night for some brunch and looking for a Bloody Mary or something. And like that'd go a long way over there.
I
Sit
know.
there all
Yeah,
morning. You'd be like, sir, you need
Although
to
we
leave.
can't do the vodka, what
been
can we
here
do?
all
I guess
day.
we could do
We're
a
pretty
michelada.
excited. We're rolling out like 5 new things all at once, and
That's crazy.
it's pretty cool.
It's exciting too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun and it's exciting. It's scary.
Is your team ready for that? Did they know about dinner?
Well,
Sort of. They're getting
that's
ready.
kind
Some
of part
people
of
do.
the.
Is this the reveal?
No. Well, I mean, it's like we're saying our team is segmented, So
Some know.
my kitchen manager works different shifts than I do, right? So, like I said, I only see him once a week. We haven't even been open for less than 2 weeks again. So,
It's
You know.
only been 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
less than 2 weeks.
Less than. No.
Time there's a lot that's happened since South by. And then
Yeah.
even 2 weeks ago when I saw you guys open this, then
Yeah.
time is also feels like it's flying too.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
It's been a tornado,
Yeah.
This is like click your heels, right?
Well,
There's no place like home.
I know.
it's pretty cool
There's
though.
no going back.
Oh, there's no going back.
It's
It makes
all-
you wonder,
yeah.
like if you could just have it all back to the way the Funkadelic was before all the pandemic. Well, I mean, where's it going? Because you guys are going through a lot of evolution here.
I'm so excited for this opportunity to pivot because we're now expanding in ways that we were sort of forced to, but I'm excited because it's changing the way we do our business. We're changing the way that we're going to set things up inside. I don't know exactly how this will play out. We're going to have more merchandise available, dry goods.
Nice.
And
Is that stuff available on the website or
It's not yet.
Some is.
Some of it is.
We've been doing
But-
something called Funky by the Pound.
Yeah.
funky?
So it's like a prepared foods where, sometimes you don't want to have to get separate meals for your family, but you can get a quart of roasted beets or a quart of our harvest mix or black beans or sausages or
Pupusas,
bacon.
tortillas.
And so
I like that too.
I really
Like a
found
market
it.
kinda?
Yeah, honestly, and I found it as a huge benefit. Going back to when we said we raided our own restaurant for food during the quarantine. Well, we have 3 kids, 3 times a day you have to feed them apparently.
Yeah, I know that was challenging
it was
too.
awesome to have these prepared foods to just sort of put together in different ways that were from our own restaurant. I said, why aren't we doing this
All the time,
for other
yeah.
families?
Yeah.
I mean, we love this. It makes it so easy to cook
Yeah.
for our family on a consistent basis when it's not a stress.
No,
so
I think that's a great
we're
idea.
making that more available now.
I mean, I whether it's laziness or whatever, I get that Snap Kitchen.
Yeah, that's great.
Same concept. Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm really bad about it though. And those are supposed to be like healthy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm bad about it. I'll eat like 2 of them in a night or something. Bad
Double
about
up.
portion control.
I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing if it's all good foods.
Yeah, it could go both ways. I don't know. But that's lovely though. And like that's great. Like that's a cool evolution.
Yeah, and one of the best things about all of it is in our business is that I get to work with my wife and my best friend, and we make decisions together, and
It is sweet.
we work really hard
That's true.
and well together, and
Yeah.
it's kind of one of the things that you never. Before I would work, I would see her an hour a day, and 2 jobs, raising kids or family, and when we opened this restaurant together, we've been evolving
Yeah, that's awesome.
closer and working together on everything. We make all the decisions together. We bounce ideas off of each other. We listen to each other's frustrations about it or their perspective or things they don't like about.
I think we've gotten so much better at communicating since we started working together. And it's just so much more fun. Like Michael said, he's always worked 2 jobs, He's a chef. He loves working.
I know.
But he'd come home
always
at
working.
10 or 11 just fried, and
Yeah.
that would be our time together. And now we get to, creatively solve problems together, and it's stimulating and fun. And
Yeah.
it's something that
Michael is
we
unique
love.
in that
Yeah.
respect. I mean, a lot of chefs do work a lot, but he He is a go-getter. And the fact that, like, it's like sometimes you want to be separated from your spouse for, and then you come home and you spend time together and it balances out. But when it's an hour a day and you're a toast, it's like, where's the fun in that? So what's her strong suit? And then you're going to go after him.
She has a lot of strong suits. She's got a good palate.
Hence the taste tester.
Yeah, and she's got good ideas. She's a culinarian. She likes to eat. She's worked in the industry before. It's not some foreign thing to her.
Yeah.
She's also really good at objectively solving problems. She's a lot. Maybe I don't know which one of us has got a hotter head, but it's over different issues. Sometimes I'm more prone to flip out over something that she wouldn't be, and vice versa the other way. She also is a really good listener and gives good advice. I would say, she's also, I think, better at making decisions than I am. I would rather deliberate and think about aspects of it, and she's like, nope. Do it and let's just go forward.
Yeah.
I want to hear perspectives. I want to mull it over. I want to take a week and make sure that the decision I'm making is appropriate. She doesn't operate that way, good or bad.
Right.
I make it, I made a mistake, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to look back and say that. I want to say I spent a month thinking about it and it was the right choice.
Yeah, I'm like, done is better
She's
than
like,
perfect.
I would have made that decision, good or bad, a month ago.
Right.
But
well, this is all being recorded, right? So I can re-listen to all those nice things you said about me.
Yeah.
I'll put him in a little soundbite for you.
Thank you. I'm going to carry him in my phone.
Ringtone.
Yeah.
Every time Michael calls, so sweet,
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get to say all the good things about you.
Yes, this will be your ringtone and go.
Okay, good. Well, Michael is clearly more patient than I am because I am very decisive and quick,
Sure.
and sometimes I'm I'm all business, which is funny because I'm such a goofball. But when it comes to work, I'm just like, okay, let's get this done. Action, action, action. And sometimes I'm much shorter, but he is much more patient with people, and he gives people the benefit of the doubt. And I think one of the best things about Michael is he sees things in people that they don't see in themselves. So he creates a tribe by leadership, by being in it with them. He's not managing from above, and people will follow him from job to job to job. Like when you have a staff that's making more money not working than they do to come back, but they come back because they love Michael so much and they share his vision, he's doing something right. So I think that your greatest strength is that, I know we're going to make each other cry in your podcast.
Stop it.
We love each other. No, I think that he leads by example. He never asks anybody to do anything he wouldn't do himself. He's carrying out the boxes, and he's, in there at 3 a.m. if there's a last minute catering order, and he's handling it. But he lifts people up, and people mess up. There have been a lot of our employees that he's known for many years and worked with at many jobs, and maybe they show up late, or maybe they screw up and don't show up at all multiple times. And where I'm more apt to be like, well, that's done, next. Right. He gives them more chances, and they always, 99% of the time, rise to the occasion and become better themselves. And I've become better as a person seeing how he treats people. And so I think that is the most impressive thing. Of course, he's also, like you said, a go-getter. I'm not built that way. He can sleep 4 or 5 hours a night, get up and do it again and again and again and again. We was applying for something recently, and they said, explain yourself in one word. And I immediately said, tenacious. There wasn't a moment that I had to think like, what explains my husband? It's definitely, there's no stopping for him.
Sure.
For better or worse, it's just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
For you.
Till I collapse.
Yeah, which
There's
he
no
has.
stopping.
Right.
Walking across the living room, just shaboom, worked too many hours.
Well, this is like y'all
Yeah.
prepared that. No?
No, we just like each other.
That was off the cuff.
Yeah.
That
She's my
wasn't-
best friend.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
true.
Yeah.
And what she's saying is true. I mean, even guests know when they come to the Funkadelic. I mean, you're patient, you're polite, you're always there for them. And then I mean, I know you, but I know that, I mean, when I go eat there, you've got like something about you, You're boots on the ground with the people.
We love our people. And that goes, like, first of all, we have a great team of people that work with us. They are incredible
Amazing.
people.
Right. And that does not surprise me that when you ask for them to come back, a lot of them are willing to.
Well, even beyond our customers, our guests.
It doesn't surprise me either.
They are just constantly blowing me away. I mean,
it's been amazing to see the community come out for us.
I miss
been so nice.
We miss taking care of people. Like that's one of the things about curbside pickup, delivery, COVID-19 that you don't get to do.
The worst part is all the hugs I'm not getting because
you don't take care of people
giving.
the same
I mean,
way.
we have such a group of people that you run up and you immediately squeeze each other and hi, how are you? And it's sort of a weird interaction now, but But we feel super fortunate to have that.
Yeah. No, that's, I mean, this is a human thing. You get down to like a human instinct when people have been not able to touch each other or shake each other's hands or hug each other. It's like, it's not natural. We're creating some kind of, it's like it's in the air. It's like brewing.
It's like a new cultural norm. It's like, other cultures bow toward one another. And I'm like, that always seems so strange to us. I'm like, is that where we're heading? I can't imagine,
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I personally think people will get back to just handshakes, hugs, whatever it is, kiss on the cheek. And then there's going to be the select few that are not feeling that and they don't want to be a part of it. And they're just going to be a little sketched out from this point on. I mean, things do things to people, and this is pretty much traumatizing. I mean,
it's a collective trauma. I told Michael, I think I have crisis fatigue just because there's days where you're like, oh, I can do this, and I'm knocking out 25 tasks. And then there are days where you just sort of feel flattened by it all. You're going, oh my God, I'm just wiped out from the news and the emotions and the fear,
Well, I described this wonderful summer I had, but the truth is there were days here just staring at the walls. And I didn't come in this room, which was very depressing, and talk to people and anything like that. But and I was like playing guitar every day. I was like, this is the best. And then one day I like hit a wall and I was like, oh. It's like sitting here all day, it was really depressing. And then not seeing people, catering to them, having people over here. It was a roller coaster is what it was. So crisis, fatigue, whatever it is, I just hope we're towards the end of this tunnel.
And we're happiest when we feel like we have a purpose and we're serving people. And when we're kind of held from that, you start to feel, sort of like you're swimming through your own life, through your own days. You're like, what am I doing here? And since there's, no definitive end in that, there's just so much discomfort. And we're not used to not knowing. We're not used to sitting in that discomfort for such a long period of time that we're all sort of, growing in extremely uncomfortable ways and spending all that time.
That up and down thing.
Absolutely.
Like you wake up one day thinking something, go to bed. Oh, well, even the virus, you think, it's nothing. And then you go to bed going, I got this. Am I going to die? I got to check my breath, get my temperature.
Or you see people dying. You see the numbers. And, it's a constant roller coaster even within our own city. And then, you're trying to figure out, well, they're opening bars. And then what happens when mass groups of people meet again? Is it going to be a resurgence? Is it going to be...
the bars have opened, like South Austin Beer Garden. It's a lively place
already.
Right now. And I think that's probably generally, right? If the bar's open, people are going to be there. Which is, those are the patriots who just want to, I guess, not think about this. Which is, I guess it is what it is.
I mean, I would be a hypocrite not to empathize with bar and restaurant owners at the same time, because they're also private business owners also, and they have a passion and they have a business that they want to make available to consumers. And so
I agree with you, but speaking
I
of
recognize
hypocritical,
that,
like I also said, I don't want to be a hypocrite and not be willing to go to businesses, but asking people to come to ours. So I felt like until I feel comfortable enough at a level to go sit in a socially distanced restaurant or do these things, I am not that. Whenever I have that level of comfort,
we've gotten takeout. We have not eaten anywhere.
Yeah, I've
No.
gotten takeout.
Yeah.
And, well, of all places, Tuk Tuk.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
A fan of Tuk
Yeah,
Tuk.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
And then I'll wake up the next morning. Why did I do that? Why did I walk in and
Gonna
put
die tomorrow.
myself?
You're calling your daughter. I love you.
Yeah.
Getting all worried. But I've done the takeout too. I have not sat anywhere. I've done HBQ. They have the food trailer over there.
Yeah.
We've done a handful of things.
Where have you guys gone?
Before we say where, I
Yeah.
don't want to, because
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything
Being-
negative about it.
being
either.
culinary type people, there has been a little bit
You've
of
already done a podcast. We know. We
Well,
know
There's
about
a
you.
lapse that is
We are frustrated with
indistinguishable
takeout.
between well, of course though, and I'm sure that our customers have to feel the same way only because there's a difference between it going from the grill to the plate to your face
And then driving.
to driving to a box that it's steaming in and goes 20 minutes,
Yeah.
And so we've had a real mixed bag of our results.
Yeah, sure.
You can say of what we've
And I don't want to
received.
name names because
No.
it's not fair.
But are
you know?
some of our
Well, can we-
favorites.
okay. Yeah. Name some good ones instead of naming names of
One I couldn't not get. I had to have Loro. I was really missing.
Man, I have missed out on some of these. Like somebody had Uchi the other Ryan.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, Kit
Davis had
Andrew, the guy that was in Andrew
Oh, he
Mike, right?
loves
Andrew,
sushi,
it was
right.
his birthday. They went and got, and they said it was incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
it was
a
so nice.
thing,
We had, it was, we were celebrating. The kids are all done with school. It's
Yeah,
summertime now.
Yeah.
We got our loan and we were reopening. So all of these things happened
Yeah,
on the
sure.
same
We were
week.
celebrating,
And, we
and
said, "All right,
it was
let's
good, but there's something different about,
getting it in a to-go box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's always.
I
gonna be
was
that
still
way,
in
right?
heaven, but it wasn't the same as
yeah. Now we
sitting
had some
there.
other ones, and,
Yeah.
I don't want to name names because it's
No.
not fair, because
Sure.
everyone's
All right.
coping with their own versions of
Yeah.
how to handle
They
this
could
business.
be having their day of the weeds that we
Absolutely,
experienced.
and I don't want. It's not fair to anybody to
Yeah.
say, but this was not a small name business, and we were like, this sucks. You know, like this,
And it was expensive and bad.
this, like,
If you want a real reliable to go meal,
Yes.
Fly Right, Pizzeries. They've been doing it all along.
it's drive through, absolutely. And we joked around like the best
What are we
businesses
doing? We should have been a drive-through.
set up for
Yeah.
this.
Right.
We need a drive through at our restaurant. Like
that's why
Yeah.
I joked about the Snap Kitchen and you guys doing that, but like a bento picnic. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
they always had those. No,
Yeah.
just start selling those. You know,
Yeah.
and those are delicious.
Didn't they close and
Yeah.
then reopen?
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're open and now they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
They're
Good.
Yeah,
been pretty
they're
busy.
awesome.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
I
You've had
agree.
some good podcasts lately, buddy. Well, not lately, but
Not lately.
before.
Not late. Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Leo was great.
She's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun podcast. We should get them back on here. We never talked about the, and I'll say it on here, their whole thing going on with picnic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a cool topic either.
No.
I'm sure their
It's-
frustration with all that, but
But everybody's frustrated with it, you know. I saw a guy with a picnic shirt on the other day, and I was almost going to be like, "Hey, take that off or something." Do you work for them?
But could you bring me one of their bone broths first? Because they're really good.
Or the what is it? The butter coffee.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the Philip Spear one. That was great.
Philip was great. Yeah.
I really liked the one too. Peached tortilla.
You know, he's scheduled to come in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
cool.
coming back, and
They're reopening
he's-
too.
Yeah, he sounds a little fueled, so we'll see
Yeah.
where that goes. I don't think he's taking this very lightly.
What's that?
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
mean, he's-
I know. They're being, at least, and I don't know the man
Yeah.
personally, but I
Great
know their
guy.
business very well.
Yeah.
And I'm always impressed with their style of business.
Yeah.
And I really like his approach to what's been happening. I read a couple articles about his feelings about what's happening.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of
Well,
respect
you're
for
gonna have to
business
send me
owners.
those. Eric likes me to be prepared. I'll need to read those.
Well, it's fascinating, as I'm sure you can imagine. Everyone's version of how to deal with this particular situation is different. And there's a scope of businesses that are concerned and businesses that are not concerned.
yeah, that's
And what are the ramifications of that?
Mm-hmm.
And not only to your team, but to the consumer and to your business longevity. And there have been some scary stories out there because people are either not taking it seriously or don't care or are taking it hyper seriously or may not even open again.
Well, we've seen a lot of that. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
going to say we're going to wrap this up shortly, but the what I've seen is more people not caring than anything, and my job is just to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
things in the general. So that's sad to see, but it's made me lighten up a little bit because I was pretty on edge. I have asthma, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, single dad. I don't want to leave my daughter behind.
No.
But yeah, you see everybody all lax about it. No masks. No social distancing, and
No.
you know. So I don't know.
I mean, we both are
not been our
really
case.
close with our parents.
Yeah.
My parents live 3 blocks from our house. His mom is in Wimberley, and we try to spend a lot of family time together. And that's been
How long did you guys go without seeing them?
well.
We still have social distancing going on with them. We don't.
Yeah.
Well, with my parents, just this week, we've kind of incorporated them into our pod, and we're not like hugging and kissing on them, but
Right.
we've been in the same car, so the same shared air.
Yeah,
We've sat in their house.
Yeah, we went
But
camping
that
and stuff.
just happened
Yeah.
this week, and with your mom.
Still not even with my mom. We
She's-
still wear masks around each other. We have.
or we sit in the backyard, so at a pretty big distance.
Yeah.
Like we've had
And that's nice. I mean, and you
a
guys
couple of
need-
birthday parties like that, and
Well, you guys
like
need
that.
that.
Yeah.
You need to see them. And hell, if it is the end, you got to go see them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not the end though.
It's not the end.
But can we wrap this up with? So is June 12th? That's the official 75% capacity. Will that patio be happening then?
The patio will hopefully be done, but we haven't received everything we need to construct it yet. So it's not.
Like the tent is in the
Definite.
mail.
Oh, it's going to be
so-
covered.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
but that should
like
be
that.
here.
We're building it
early
out
next
ourselves.
week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my dad and I are going to do the railing and all the planters and all of that. So it's literally just a construction
Fans,
pause
lights.
to get it put together,
Yeah.
and then
We will be having extended
Does-
hours though. Then
Are
so-
you going to have like inspections passed for the
Not
patio?
for this.
Not for that. Okay. Well,
yeah.
let's look forward to that and keep me in the loop so I
Yeah.
can announce it here or wherever, and
Yeah.
then that'll
Well,
be
yeah,
awesome.
we-
And
Thank
dinner,
you. Yeah.
dinner. Are you
Within
kidding
2
me?
weeks, we'll have
Yeah.
a patio. We'll have dinner. We'll have new menu items.
Yes.
All
And
those
this
things.
recording is happening on June 4th.
Yeah. So honey, we have to go. We have work to do.
Yeah.
Get the hammer. No,
We gotta go.
You're going to
Yeah.
get the Xbox updated, and you're going to start
Building
building
the patio.
Yeah.
Well,
You get the
my dad
Minecraft version
builds.
going.
I just hold
Yeah.
things and hope that he swings a hammer really directly.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to add the Minecraft up to the patio. She's got work to
Yeah.
do too.
Emma is pretty much my daughter's in charge of the restaurant already. So
Oh, wow.
she runs that place. And they call her Baby Wake. She,
Baby
Baby
Wake?
boss. She hates it.
she is
hates it.
Yeah.
she's the boss. Even all the cooks pretty much let her roll.
I know. We've talked about that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's earned it though. She works really hard.
Yeah. I think that runs in the family. But thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
We'll do another one of these.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you
Appreciate you.
guys.
Cool.